just want to make a quick video here about the fuse box. If your map light up there isn't working, this gets pretty dark down here to see what's going on. When we take that cover off there down on the passenger side floorboards here of the Jeep, that's where our fuse box is there. So this right here is just giving us access to the fuses, and then what you would do is you would remove that nut there, and then there's going to be a fastener here and another fastener up there, and then you can remove this whole panel, and then that will show you in behind there where all of the relays are. Here's the full panel removed there, as well as the cover. And now inside you can see where all your relays are inside here, all the little black squares, those are going to be your relays, and then all your fuses down below. When we take a look at the cover here and we zoom in, we're going to have a few spare fuses there, and then this is our tool to remove the fuses because they're going to be pretty hard to get out, or you'd use like a needle nose pliers or something like that. And then when you get in here, this is going to give you the detail of what the fuses are in their location. Again, the phone is helping us see that pretty clearly, but in most cases it's very hard to see because it's small and it's dark and it's just hard to see. Other than that, you take a look at some of the things that are written on there, they might not be obvious as to what the fuse is for. I've spent a lot of time looking through this book trying to chase down electrical problems and understand some of the wiring that's in the vehicle, and the point that I want to show you is that when you look at this picture here, which shows you the fuse box that's inside the vehicle, it'll give you all the information here as we look up and around. Those are the locations and the descriptors for the relays. And then in here is where all the fuses are. If we go over to this page here, it'll tell us what the fuse number is, but it won't tell us what the fuse is for. You have to go to this page and find that out. What I did was I took the information that's on the cover here and I wrote it down on this piece of paper. I then transferred that information and I put it on the back of this. And this is just a photocopy of that page right there. So I just photocopy that page, and then on the back, I write down all the information. Here it is with the information written on here. So now I have the picture, I have the information, and then I added a few little extra things that I found through the book. We see here's our fuse 1, and it comes down and it goes solely to the radio. Number 1 goes to the radio. When we check our fuse 2, it comes down, and it's going over here, and it's going to the cigarette lighter relay, and then from the relay it's going to our cigarette lighter, and this way it's coming down and it's just going to ground right there. Again, on our list it shows just the cigar there. When we check our fuse 3, it's coming down and it goes this way, and it's going to go to the body control module, and it also goes to the rear wiper washer switch. And that's what I wrote down on my paper. It goes to both the rear wash switch and the body control module. When we check our fuse 4, it's coming down and it shows it's going to the airbag control module only. And then on our list here, we have it for the airbag. When we check our fuse 5, it's coming down and it's splitting here. It's going to the shift interlock and the instrument cluster. And if you go over this way, it shows that's not used, and it's coming down and it's going to the fused ignition switch output start run. On the cover, it is listed as LPOT/DO. I'm not understanding what that's supposed to be, but I wrote down in here that's where it's going to. When we check our fuse 6, it's coming down, and on this side of the fuse it's going over to the junction block, and it's going over to the electronic flasher, and then it comes down and it's going over to the graphic display module or the information center. It continues to come down and it goes to this, which would be our park neutral position switch, daytime running module, and our speed proportional steering module. Again, on there, OH cons, I'm not sure what exactly that is supposed to represent, but when we followed in the book, those were the things that it went to. When we check our fuse 7, it's coming down, it's going to the body control module, it kicks over this way, comes down, splits off, you're going to the auto headlamp light sensor, you're going to the instrument cluster, and you're going to the data link connector. When you come back, it kicks over this way, and it says if you have the premium radio in there, it's coming down, and it's going to the power amplifier. And that's what I wrote down here for fuse 7. When we check our fuse 8, it's coming down, it splits off here, and this is what it's saying here, if it's got the factory tow or the aftermarket tow, and it's coming down, so you got your trailer tow circuit, your aftermarket trailer tow, and then this way, and that's with the lift glass if you have it, and here's the lift glass, and then over to the rear wiper motor. And that's what I wrote down here for fuse 8. Fuse 9 is coming down, and it's going to the stop lamp switch, and that's what I have written down there as well. Fuse 10 is coming down, it goes to our rear window defogger switch, it kicks over, it says not used and not used. And that's what I have written down here. I personally wouldn't understand what that means there, so that's why I wrote this down, so I understand it now. When we check our fuse 11, it's coming down, it's going to the controller anti-lock brake, it kicks over, and it's going to the ABS main relay. And that's what I've written down for fuse 11. When we check our fuse 12, it's coming down, and it goes over, this says with ATC, down, passenger seatbelt heater control, driver heater control, back over, we got switch pod. Over this way, we have the blend door motor and the recirculation door motor. So in this case here, if you have trouble with your controls for your temperature, this might be one of the problems here. Now when we go back up, it kicks over this way, and it's showing that it's going to the automatic temperature control module if you have that. That would be the upgraded model. If you don't, it'd just be like a 3-position switch for the blower motor, I do believe. And then we have the AC heater control. And that's what they're talking about with the HVAC here for all your controls. We check out our fuse 13, it's coming down, it's going into our electronic flasher here, and then that's going to go over. Now if we kick it this way, it's going to the power antenna relay, and then we're coming down and we're seeing our radio, power amplifier, power antenna. If we look this way, it's going down, that's going to ground, and then we got the turn signal hazard switch and the vehicle information center. And it's just simply saying that's the hazards here on our list. When we check our fuse 14, it's coming down, kicks over here, goes to the cigar lighter relay, and it says it's not used right there. From the relay, it's going down to our cigar lighter, and over here, that's ground again. And then it's connected into fuse 2 as well. So fuse 2 is coming down, and it's powering this relay as well. And it's just simply listed as a cigar here. Remember that number 2 is also cigar. Now when we look in our book here, fuse 15 is not listed. And right here, it was listed as rear fog. When we check our fuse 16, it's coming down, and we're going to the underhood lamp right there. And then it kicks off this way, and it's going to the glove box lamp. And then when we kick over this way, that's going back to the junction block, and this way it's going to our vanity lamps for the right and left. When it goes this way, it's going into our courtesy lamp relay, which is coming down to the body control module and back to our vanity lamps. So that tells me that basically the body control module is going to tell these lights to turn on, like say when you open the door or you turn the key in the ignition. And on our list here, that's what I wrote down. When we check our fuse 17, it's coming down, it's going over to the park lamp relay, and that is coming down. So you got your park lamp relay control and your output, and this is part of the body control module here. And then down this way we are going to our fog lamp module, our headlamp switch. And here it is here, where that way it's kicking over to the relay. This way it's coming right down directly to the headlamp switch. So it's kind of tied in on both sides. And if you notice on this side, you've actually got power to the headlamp switch before the fuse, and then again after the fuse. And that's what I've written down for 17. Again, when we go back to this page, we don't have anything listed for fuse 18. And on our cover, it was listed as a spare. When we take a look at fuse 19, it simply just comes down to the headlamp dimmer switch. And that's what it was written as flash 2, which the common person probably wouldn't understand what that means. That's why I wrote that in there. We check on fuse 20, it's coming down. It says it's not used there, and then it comes here, and it's going to our automatic temperature control, our radio, our graphic display module. And that's what I wrote down for fuse 20. So fuse 21 is coming down. Before the fuse, it's going to the junction block. After the fuse, it's coming down to the power outlet only. And that's what it was listed as on the cover. And fuse 22, as we follow that down, it comes down and it's going to the airbag control module only. And that's what we have listed there. I hope that helps people out. Sometimes you just take for granted your fuses, and in this case, like I say, sometimes they're interconnected to different devices. So there's some extra information there. What I did was I just photocopied this page, and then I researched those fuses for any extra information, wrote that down on the back, so that can help me get to solving whatever problem I'm having with the vehicle. And you can take that piece of paper, you can put it in with in behind the fuse cover there, or in the glove box or something like that, so it's readily available, and you can use it anytime you need it.